Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Okay, so I had some commenter ask me if I could do a level 50 analysis for Palkia. So here's a request, and Palkia for my first impression on level 50, probably not going to be as great as Dialga, or I would say Groudon as far as Dragon Breath usage. The thing about Palkia at level 50 is that Palkia, while it's super strong and super great, it just can fall to too many things even at level 50. So at first impression, it's probably not that bad, but I can't say it's going to be great either. The thing that makes Palkia really, what makes Palkia kind of really dangerous is the fact that it has such high attack. It's a glass cannon from hell. At level 50, it maxes out 4,500. So it's Dragon Breath. With Dragon Breath, it does an obscene amount of damage. What makes it unique is that it has a Dragon and Water archetype. So because of Dragon and Water, you actually resist Steel typings. So you resist Iron. You actually resist Iron Heads from things like Dialga. You also resist Mirror Shots, etc. And Bullet Punches and Meteor Mash from Metagross. You also resist Water and Fire, which unfortunately aren't super popular. Water being Kyogre and Fire being Groudon's Fire Punch. So Groudon is going to have to Earthquake you to deal some heavy damage. Now you do have two big weaknesses, Dragon and Fairy. In fact, that's probably why it's really dangerous to run Palkia. You don't see it ran a lot in Masters Classic, just because, or even Open Masters, is because the Togekiss is present. Togekiss has a very strong matchup against Palkia, just because it is squishy. It is essentially a glass cannon. As you see here, it has its defense is not high, but it's a glass cannon. High attack, low defense, at least comparison to its attack, and low stamina. So it's at first glance not that great, but yeah, other Dragon Breath users can possibly run over Palkia, and as long as it's not that great, unfortunately. As far as bulk wise, especially when it comes to Master League, you want Pokemon as bulky as humanly possible, or always as high stats as possible, because everything maxes out. So the thing about Palkia is there's other things that max out higher. But what makes Palkia so strong regardless in Open Master League is it has Dragon Breath. Dragon Breath is the most powerful fast move in the game. As far as damage-wise goes, sheer damage, nothing beats Dragon Breath. And that's why it's so strong. It also had I believe that buff in Season 3 where it got Aqua Tail. With Aqua Tail, it now has a decent bait. It has a good bait move. It gets stabbed, and Aqua Tail actually does heavy damage against a lot of things, especially if you don't resist it. And it has the all-powerful Draco Meteor. If Draco Meteor hits something, it's going to do an obscene amount of damage. So Draco Meteor is a great finishing move. It also has Fire Blast and Hydro Pump, but you definitely want to use Draco Meteor or Aqua Tail. You want your bait move and then your really big nuke move, because after you use Draco Meteor, it's likely you're going to let Palkia go or you're going to switch out. Alright, here's the PPoke.com rankings. As you see here, Palkia ranks at number 10 overall. It's good in all positions, and 84% rating is not that bad. It's like a B across all board, but the reason why it's pretty good in all positions is because of what it beats. Palkia is Groudon's worst nightmare. As you see, you have a very strong matchup against Groudon, because the only thing that really hurts you are those Mud Shots and that Earthquake. Your Aqua Tails will do heavy damage, and your Dragon Breath as well. You also have you're also very strong against the Psychic meta, which is Mewtwo and Lugia. And you absolutely destroy Kyogre and Giratina Origins, which are also very popular picks. Now, what makes Palkia kind of dangerous, as you see here for the key losses, you lose against the heavy Steel meta. And Steel is a lot more popular than what you see in the back. So Palkia getting lined up against Dialga or Melmetal is bad if you can't actually finish off Dialga or Melmetal. If you don't have a Draco Meteor, you can't finish off Dialga. If you don't have a Draco Meteor, you probably won't be able to finish off Melmetal, but as long as that's Chip, you could probably finish it off with Aqua Tail. Against Giratina Alter, the reason you lose against Giratina Alter is just because it's super bulky. Remember what I mentioned before about Palkia's bulk? Well, guess what? Things that outbulk you will probably beat you. And the weaknesses to Fairy typings is why Togekiss's Charm absolutely deletes you. That and Dragonite is also strong against you just because it does resist your Aqua Tail. And it resists your Aqua Tail, and it kind of outpaces you because it has Dragon Claw. As you see here, if you try to see the Palkia versus the Togekiss matchup, Togekiss absolutely deletes you, killing you within 8 charms. Even if you are level 50, here's what happens. Even if you are level 50, Togekiss still deletes you. And it just takes 1 more charm to kill you. So it's still very, very healthy. That's how oppressive Togekiss is versus Palkia. So, still very good across the board. As a lead, Palkia is number 12, being able to beat Gira-O, Kyogre, Groudon, Mewtwo, and Lugia. I would actually prefer running it as a lead, and then you switch out of it. You can close with it, but we'll just see on the Matrix just how powerful it is. The closer is the most powerful position, but we'll see what happens. As you see here in the closer, it's number 20. Being able to beat out things like Groudon, Rhyperior, Gira-A is where you'll beat it in a closer just because I believe you can get to a Draco Meteor. You beat Kyogre and Giratina-O. As a switch, I would not use Palkia as a switch. I would switch Palkia into whatever is weak, it beats. For example, you could switch it to a Gira-O and win comfortably, or Kyogre, or Groudon, or Mewtwo. So if someone safe switches a Mewtwo, you could send in Palkia to go and take it down. And it can even be Dragonite, and it can be Dragonite in one shield, so... There are certain scenarios where you have outs, you just can't beat the Steel Archetype very well, or Togekiss. Alright, here's a PvPoke.com Matrix. As I always say, please consider donating to PvPoke.com. So I Palkia got here, we got level 50, and we got level 51. I also have a custom Matrix for Master League that also includes level 50 Pokemon. So here's a level 50 Excadrill, as you see here, and a bunch of other level 50s. So you can make a comparison to see whether or not Palkia is, worth it compared to other 50s. Now, Niantic hasn't actually, exactly fixed the system for XL. It's still obscenely hard to get XL candy. You have to raid, XL candy, you have to raid, you can raid, but even then, raiding for it is a lot. So, you have to do a lot of raids. It's very cost-effective, or not really cost-effective, but it's so costly to build these Pokemon as of right now that I do not recommend you spend your rare candy or your XL rare candy on anything that you can't get regularly. For example, you can get you probably already have a Gyarados if you grind a little heavily, or if you have access to Magikarp and Rainy Weather, you can get a Gyarados pretty easily. Other than Pokemon like that. Other than that, legendary XLs, you probably won't see them too often. Thankfully, because they're just that powerful. I have Palkia at level 50 right here. I also have Palkia at level 51. We're not going to deviate from the moveset because you want Aqua Tail and Draco Meteor. Draco Meteor is your finishing move. Aqua Tail is your bait move. Dragon Breath is the standard because Dragon Breath does so much damage. We're going to run the 2 shield, and as you see here, we're going to hit the Matrix. In the 2 shield, we get, as you see here, Palkia does really well against a lot of the meta at level 50, but this assumes that they're level 40. So this is assuming this is the, everything you see here. Actually, here, let me add there's one Pokemon I actually didn't add yet. Machamp at level 50 is very viable, so we're going to do that. We'll add that one. I'll save that list. Master League level 50. Yeah, you might see, I haven't seen it yet, me battling in Master League's class. I still haven't seen a lot of Machamps, but you can possibly see them, plus, you could possibly see them, so just to keep that in mind. Okay, so I added Machamp in here. I'm not going to add Payback I'm not going to add Payback Machamp. Let's just do Rock Slide, because Rock Slide is what you need to cover Togekiss, and then we'll do that again. But generally, you probably might see. Well, this is open, so mine as well. So this is assuming no holds barred. So we're gonna hit battle. As you see here, you do really well against a lot of meta. So it's not a bad idea to lead with it. The lead patterns that I seem to see that are really popular for Master League probably are open Master. It's probably Kyogre, Kyogre, Gira-O, etc. You lose against Dialga, so if you see Dialga, you could switch out immediately. Just as you see, you get pretty dang close to killing Dialga, but it doesn't mean it's gonna happen. As you see, you do very well against a lot of the meta. You beat a majority of leads. You beat Machamp, you beat Mamoswine, Lugia, Metagross, Palkia itself, of course, because you're 50 and they're 40. Again, this half assumes this is level 40. You lose hard against Togekiss, so you want to get out of that. And you also beat Zekrom. So you only lose against Togekiss and Dialga in the lead, in the 2 shield, if you have a level 50 Palkia. So that's huge. You could actually beat Melmetal. I think you could just straight Aqua Tail down Melmetal. As you see here, Melmetal, it still takes a decent amount of rocks to kill you, and you could just Aqua Tail down and then Draco Meteor. I think you have to hit Draco Meteor. I don't think you can go straight draw. Yeah, I think you have. Okay, Palkia can still win straight Aqua Tail. So this assumes 50 versus 40. So if you have a level 50 Melmetal, let's see here. So let's see, this owes up to Dialga. Okay, so this is the level 50 portion. So as you see here, if it's level 50 on 50, you lose against Dialga, you'll lose against Mewtwo. Yeah, so let's see, Groudon. Why do you lose a 2-shield against Groudon? Oh, because you get bait. So as long as this is a bait-dependent matchup against a level 50 Groudon, if you call the bait, so say you shield, so if you eat if you eat a Fire Punch, you call the bait, you win. So as long as you don't get jebaited, you win. Make sure you shield the Earthquake, because the Earthquake is the only thing that will actually KO you. If you don't shield the Earthquake, you lose. Which is why, yeah, if you don't shield the Earthquake, you lose, because Earthquake can do 116, so it can take you out. As you see here, lots of bait. Melmetal will beat you this time at level 50, so a level 50 Melmetal will beat you in the 2-shield, compared to the 40. Kyogre, you still beat Kyogre, you'll still beat Gear-O, you'll still beat Snorlax at level 50. You're gonna die to Togekiss at level 50. Well, you die to 40 or 50 either way, so yeah, just be careful. You also lose against Gyarados at level 50. So level 50 Gyarados does beat level 40 Palkia, just because it does resist your Aqua Tails. It can even eat an Aqua Tail if they want, but like as you see here, it still comes out with a decent chunk of HP. 22 isn't a lot, but it's still something, and then it can come out as matchup with Aqua Tail energy when the next Pokemon comes in. So you will lose against Gyarados. As you see, level 50 versus 40, great. Level 50 on 50, on the other hand, you do lose some matchups. So just keep that in mind. Well, you beat, like, you technically, like I said, you technically beat Groudon right here, but yeah. Level 51 looks like it could take down Mewtwo. I think you can survive a Side Strike at level 51. Yeah, so there's a break and bulk point. So there's a bulk point. There's a bulk point for Mewtwo, as you see here. For Mewtwo, there is a bulk point. So there's a bulk point for level 51. So the only matchup that will flip, assuming you don't lose any turns, is probably Mewtwo. So just keep that in mind. Still worth doing, but like, if you get, that's assuming you lead against a Mewtwo. In the 1-shield, let's see what things get, because as you see, 2-shield, Palkia, very, very powerful. In the 1-shield, you beat the same amounts. You lose against Togekiss, you'll still lose against Dialga. So the 1 and the 2-shield, 50 versus 40, is the same exact thing. Now, in the 1-shield, you convincingly beat Mewtwo, you also convincingly beat Groudon. So versus the 2-shield versus 1-shield, it looks like Palkia does better in the 1-shield against level 50s. Versus having 2 shields. So I guess that's why it's such a powerful closer versus being a lead. As you see here, you beat Mewtwo, you beat Groudon. You still lose against Melmetal. You barely lose against Melmetal. Barely. Just barely. You lose with 1 HP. So this isn't a bad matchup right here. You're still going to lose against Togekiss and Gyarados. So the 2-shield is the same exact thing as the 1-shield. 50 on 50, 40 on 40, still the exact same thing. So not much of a difference, which is good. Which means Palkia isn't too hard to play. Well, there's not a lot of things in Master League that are hard to play, because you just kill everything. It's that simple. So the closer is Palkia's most powerful position. However, as you see here, I would say, yeah, that's not good. So you drop Dragonite, you drop Garchomp in the closer. You also drop it looks like you drop Mewtwo, and you also drop Melmetal. For some odd reason, you win with level 51 versus level 50, but why? You live 45 HP. I think you can still beat it, because like you don't need a level 50 versus level 40. What happens when you close out? So Palkia still wins if you go straight Aqua Tail. So you should be able to beat Melmetal straight Aqua Tail. So the closer, you drop the 2 dragon matchup. So you drop Dragonite, Garchomp. You still will never beat like the Dialga no matter what, unless you can hit a Draco Meteor. As you see, you also drop Zekrom. So I would argue the closer is probably worse position, because as you see, you drop like 4 matchups. It's much stronger in the 2 and the 1s than it is in the 0s. Against the 50 on 40 meta, or like the suppose that I put over here, you still beat Groudon, you still beat Kyogre, Giratina, and Togekiss. However, you drop Mewtwo, so the Mewtwo and Melmetal will convincingly beat you. So it's still not bad. Still decent. It's decent. Not horrible, but it is decent. In the 1-shield, so if you're in the 1 to 0s, you beat the entire meta, with the exception of Togekiss. Well, It looks like you can be... No, yeah, it looks like you beat the entire meta without Togekiss. 50 on 50, 40 on 40. So, in the 1 to 0s. So, you get a shield advantage, and you're all in even scenarios. It does very, very well. In the 2 to 0s, you beat everything but Togekiss. With shield advantage in the 2 to 1s, it looks like you still beat everything except... Well, actually, you'll simultaneously KO with Dialga. But it looks like in the 2 to 1s with shield advantage, you can actually take... Yeah, you will drop to... You basically only lose 2 matchups, which is Dialga and Togekiss. Which is great. Don't get me wrong. It's really great. That just really sums up just how powerful Palkia is. Palkia is very strong. A lot stronger than I'm surprisingly seen. Like, its biggest weakness is Dialga. But Dialga and Togekiss, but other than that, if you're on 50 on 40 or 50 on 50, Palkia is pretty dang good as a level 50. So if I had to give Palkia a level 50 rating, I'd actually give it a 9 out of 10. It's really, really strong. So in even shield scenarios, as you see here, it does really well. The 50 version absolutely annihilates the 40 meta. As you see here, there's the 1s. In the 2s, only losing to Dialga. Now, the reason I can't give it a perfect score is because of freaking Dialga. Yeah, that's because, literally just because of Dialga. The fact that you lose against Dialga and Togekiss, which are 2 really popular patterns. In the 1 shield, you actually have a really strong pattern against Dialga. However, if you look on 50 on 50, you actually get this, like, where the heck is Dialga? Ah, there it is. 50 on 50, you die. So, a 50 Dialga on a 50 Palkia, Dialga would just dominate you. So, there's actually you actually don't have any win cons. Unless you're up a shield. And it has to be, and it's not, well, it has to be in the 1 to 0s. Like, if it's in the 2 to 1s, as you see here, you're just going to get Dragon Breath down. So, sadly. Dialga is just so, it's just so oppressive in this meta that it's just what it is in Master League. And it's still, like I said, it's very, very powerful. And even shield scenarios, very, very strong, only losing to basically what's obviously you're weak to, like Togekiss or like Dialga. It's very, very strong. Very strong. Despite the fact that it is glassy, because of the sheer amount of damage it does, and the fact that it has Aqua Tail, you have a good bait move, you have a good finishing move. Dragon Breath does a lot of damage, and you're usually, as you see here, your ratings aren't like even, so they're not like super close. 600, 800 ratings against, it's strong against the 50 meta. It does very well against the 50 meta. So it does well on 50 on 50. Would I power one up? If you had to power one up, I'd say no. There's other Pokemon you can prioritize that are probably cheaper than Palkia and probably would do better long run. For example, level 50 Dialga, if you are gunning for a level 50 legendary, and you want to play Master League, that should be your priority. Another one is probably level 50 Mewtwo. Level 50 Mewtwo is a beast. Like, a level 50 Mewtwo with Side Strike will destroy a lot of things. In fact, you still lose the 2 shield against Mewtwo, and you still lose with shield advantage. Like, that's how beastly Mewtwo is. But there are other Pokemon you should prioritize. Unless Palkia comes back and they make XL Candy easier, then I would definitely go after a Palkia. If you really want to use Palkia for a Master League, it is, like I said, it's a great option. It's a great option. Very, very strong. But that's just the sad thing about it. Like, Master League, a lot of people have driven away from Master League, and I really think it's great that they do have these options to where you don't have to play Master League, so that you don't have to play, so that the barrier to entry is lower. Obviously, there's still more improvements that can be made to go Battle League, but as of right now, it's better than nothing. And like I said, if you want a level 50 Poké, it's not a bad idea. It still does very well. It's very strong. Good luck on your Battle League sets. Hope you guys are doing well in your battles. If you haven't made Legend yet, you still have some time. I think you still have some time, but good luck. Good luck for you that are making that last push. Good luck on your Battle League sets, and I'll see you guys in the next video.